So, today we're talking about native material. First, this should be obvious, but as a non native speaker, as a Brazilian, you have tons and tons of access to English material. Everything you need is at your disposal. Literally, English is in your face, it's everywhere in your life. There is no possible way you can complain about having a lack of native material. So that's the good news. But on the other hand, when there is so much information out there, it's really difficult to know where to begin. It's kind of a problem of information overload. So I imagine when you are looking for new things to listen to in Brazil, like new songs or new podcast or something like that, you have specific places that you go, YouTube channels you follow, playlist on Spotify, I don't know, whatever. But when you have kind of these different channels, it really helps you where you're not just searching the entire internet or just going through channels on the TV. It kind of helps you focus and control what you are consuming. For example, when I am looking for a podcast to listen to, I usually start with the iTunes Store or Spotify. And with just a quick change of your settings, you can have access to the exact same native material that I do when I'm in the United States. So let's start with the Mac people. If you have an iPhone, if you are a Mac person, all you have to do is go to the iTunes Store and then you scroll down to the very bottom of the page and there should be a tiny little Brazilian flag in the bottom right hand corner. Okay, so go to the iTunes Store, go all the way down, and in the bottom right, you will see a little Brazilian flag. Just click on that little green and yellow flag, and automatically iTunes will give you the option to change your country settings. And the cool thing is, when you change your country, the entire iTunes Store, the entire iTunes library completely changes. So, for example, when I'm bored and looking for a cool new podcast to listen to, I normally just go to the iTunes Store or I just use the podcast app on my iPhone and I look at the most recent top 100 shows. And when I see something new and interesting, I start listening. But right now, I'm in Portugal. So I want to adapt to the culture. I want to listen to what Portuguese people are listening to. So I simply changed my country to Portugal, and I have found so many awesome podcasts from Portugal. It's amazing. The Portuguese are doing a great job in podcasting. Very proud of them. But this doesn't just give me a ton of new material, it also gives me a sense of what's going on and what's popular in the country right now, you know? I mean, it's awesome. Like a lot of my students always talk about, I don't know, like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or something. But in all honesty, most Americans stopped talking about those shows like 10 years ago. So it's really cool to be up to date with what's going on in the country that you want to learn about. So that's hack number one. Just change your country in iTunes. Hack number two, if you prefer Spotify, I also love Spotify, both for music and podcast. They have what they call top charts. And you can look at the top 50 songs for, I don't know how many countries, but most major countries in the world. So, for example, when I'm looking for new music or I just want to hear the newest Anitta song or something like that, I simply go to the Brazil Top 50 chart and I can listen to exactly what Brazilians are listening to. It's fun. It's awesome. Very nice. Way to go, Spotify. And finally, last but not least, I cannot talk about these types of things without mentioning VPNs. So if you are not very up to date with technology, if you're not a tech person, a VPN is a virtual private network, which is more or less just a fancy way to say that it's a software that hides your IP address so you can watch Netflix in foreign countries or do whatever you want on the internet without worrying about or being constrained to only Brazilian material. And for you guys that maybe are not so tech savvy, don't worry, VPNs are totally legal. They will not damage your computer or anything like that. My recommendation, what I currently use, is an application called ExpressVPN. It's super fast. It works on my phone, my computer, my iPad, everything. I can change my IP address to anywhere in the world, and this is super helpful when I want to, for example, watch Netflix shows that are only available on the American Netflix catalog, or if I want to use my parents' HBO account or something like that. Thanks, Dad. I will admit that ExpressVPN is a little on the expensive side. It's a little pricey. I think it's maybe, I don't know, like $4 a month or something. But they have a free trial and they have a 90-day back 100% guarantee or something like that. So for me personally, it's totally worth it. So that is it for today, my friends. I believe just get on iTunes, Spotify, do whatever you need to do to find material that you really love in English. Because I promise when you find something that you really love and you're excited about listening to or watching every day, that will make a big change in your English. Okie dokie. That's it. Happy hacking. Alexia will be back in the next episode. I know that you guys miss her. Okay, I'll see you later.